My name is Coop, and I'm going to try and do that thing that radio DJs do, where they sort of swing in and out of the music. They sort of fade it in, don't they? Say something annoying and then go away and come back again. Streets of Rogue is 4-player local co-op on PC and console. Came out in 2017, so hot off the press as usual, Coop. A sequel has been announced, probably out by the time this video gets some views. Demo is also available now. I haven't actually looked into whether it's local co-op as well. They could do an ollie and take out the local, or what I call a reverse Nobody Saves the World or Cult of the Lamb. I think only about 5% of my audience gets half my references, by the way. A near on 9-year wait for the sequel though, so it should be good. But enough about all of that. Tell us about Streets of Rogue 1. What is this build as? Well, it's like a sneak action roguelike role-playing game. It's also got really cool tight twin-stick controls in the line of Hotline Miami. Everyone's got amazing detection. Some NPCs are autonomous, some of them are friendly, some of them aren't. The maps are massive. You get different missions every time you start one, and you do go through a run system. The character selection screen has got like 25 people on it. You've got like 5 to be going with off the bat, one of which has a machine gun, there is a pistol, but there's dudes with ordnance, explosives, there's even a healer to go with if you want to have that sort of local synergy. And if this one game I can completely picture being an amazing 4-player, it's this. You may have seen the Sundered review lately. That one is just chaos with even 2 people on screen. But this is manageable, there's intelligence, it's almost like a domino effect as well with who spots you or where you are on map, and that brings me over to its genius split screen dynamic system, which I will show you in a tick. So back to that 4-player reference, 4 splits when players get away from each other, there is no tethering, is just an amazing idea. The only annoying thing for me with local against the single player is that the map is no longer on screen permanently. It has to be brought up. It can be a little bit disruptive. And on the subject of disruption, it has no qualms with going full nuclear throne on you. And you need to be a good twin sticker, otherwise you will come unstuck. And that is loads of the fun for me, is when the game kicks off, if you're concentrating, you can just keep it together. No frames drop, everything's beautifully smooth. This is a well-made little game, and it copes with all of its variable status effects and what it throws at you in engine. There is a lot of player agency here. There is also loads of choice on how to complete things. You've got some dialogue options. If you've got money, you can bribe people and just make the whole affair a lot easier. It does want you to sort of stealth things a bit or get round the back of an objective and go in through a sneakier route than the front gates, all guns blazing. It doesn't work out for you too well if you start shooting people early doors. And that brings me on to the gore. It doesn't hold back with body parts, blood splatter, and all manner of outlandish weapons to use. That's the other draw, is really finding that roguelike style huge wealth of different weapons and combinations of loadout to take into a mission. The revive system is also pretty genius, reminding me of Enter the Gungeon, with the little ghost following you around. It does cost money to bring a player back. You might not have enough at that stage. There is a lot of fun to be had with that setup. It's also quite like supernatural and zombie focused. I'll show you in a second. And back to my comment about the game being little, that is a reference to its file size. If you're one of the devs listening and thinking what a patronizing, annoying hot take this is on my video game, the content within against that size is phenomenal. There is so much to do. Each of the levels has multiple stages. The slums is huge on its own, and that's really only the front end. Disclaimer, no devs are listening. here is some of that dynamic split I was talking about. And when it occurs, the game goes into slow-mo, so you're not caught out halfway through a punch or something like that. And I did want to mention its close quarters mechanics. They're surprisingly satisfying and often used to sort of save ammo. And against that difficulty, and if you have run out of everything and are just punching people, the game comes into its own. We also get a shared minimap in that split screen mode. That procedural generation is really broad and will include some apocalyptic-like setups with a lot of the levels. You never really know what's going to be happening, and they mix up the missions. You can even unlock missions within stages that weren't advertised to you at the start. It's pretty deep as a system. We do also have full-blown destructible environments. I don't think Battlefield 6 is crapping its pants just yet, but as something you need to take into account, little things like tapping on windows and the structures having an effect on how you would get to an objective, it just adds another angle of thought and you get to blow a lot of stuff up. I do have to deploy the old classic zombie undead death ray here, and one of us is nearly about to go, and normally a better player would have loads of friendly NPCs helping out here. One of the unlockable early playable characters has got an item that allows you to summon a couple of friendly players almost immediately, so that one's a good thing to take advantage of. So we've got action, stealth and strategy all in a cool local co-op roguelite. That is why I fished this out to have a look at in 2025. There hasn't been that many of these gems over those last 9 years. Neon Chrome is the only one I can think of off the top of my head that's also local co-op and kind of cyberpunk. I'll link in the description. While I've got you thinking about other local co-op games and the Halloween season has been thrust upon us, I want your top local co-op spooky scary game. So far I've come up with like 3, Resident Evil 5 and 6 and a game called Zombie Vikings. I wouldn't say that constitutes as a list, so help is needed. We are looking at the absolutely colossal home hub here. Just demonstrates how much there is actually to achieve, open up and to do in this game. I've also started doing that radio DJ fade in fade out thing again. I do think the game soundtrack is totally worth a mention. Although it's not zero katana good, it is still not rating and puts you right in the mood for this game genre. Swinging back to Halloween and single player, I'm extremely tempted with that Silent Hill F and of course Chronos. I'm desperate to get either of those 2 games on the channel within that month. Death Stranding 2 is coming up shortly. My name was of course Coop. Check out my latest local co-op kart racer video. It will blow your mind. I'll see you down there.